Welcome back to Demo Demonic, where we take a look at upcoming indie horror games that have a demo you can try right now. I'll leave a link in the description for every game featured, and if you like what you try, be sure to give it a wish list. What's the harm? There's no central theme tying this batch of games together other than I tried them, I liked them, and I hope you do too. Without further ado, let's get into some games. Square Enix left a Parasite Eve-shaped hole in our hearts when they abandoned the series all the way back with Parasite Eve 2. We haven't had a new title in at least 26 years. What is this? What is a third birthday?
I hate this game. It's probably the only game I truly hate.
Alright, we're gonna pretend that doesn't exist. With a unique blend of RPG mechanics and survival horror gameplay, it's no wonder fans have been clamoring for a remake all these years. But Square decided long ago that money is worthless unless you spend it on something related to Final Fantasy VII.
There goes that dream.
However, you can leave it to indie devs to fill that void. Currently, there's a number of EVA-likes in development or available to buy right now. There's the upcoming 45 Parabellum Bloodhound, which is a dark cyberpunk take on the formula, and a mouthful, and Wicked Seed, which features some solid gameplay and just a little bit of cheesecake. Good God, who would buy such goonery? Then, there's this. Parasite Mutant by Isatruna, a so-called bio-horror RPG where you play as psionic agent Nova. She's sent into a remote island filled with horrible things she has to slap and shoot to death, RPG style. The game employs an active time battle system, an active time chain system in case Square's lawyers are listening, where you wait for meters to fill up before you can act. Then, you gotta decide between attacking or using an item. A little dome will emit from your character to let you know if an attack will land or not. You can also fire off an EP attack, a powerful move that shreds through enemy HP, but costs its own designated points. In between turns, you need to be mindful of your footing so you don't get caught in an enemy attack, or pincered between two different enemies. After each fight, you're granted experience points that level up your character. If you dive into the menus, you can equip defensive armor or attach upgrades to your guns, both of which can be found by poking around the environment. It's all gloriously reminiscent of a certain other game with Parasite in its title. The whole game is wrapped in a cool anime aesthetic with a pulsing soundtrack. I have no sense of who Nova is or what the hell's going on, but demo's short and it's all very cool. All in all, it plays well and so far accomplishes the job it sets out to do, which is to scratch the itch a lack of Parasite Eve has given us. It's coming out, hey look, a legally distinct xenomorph! For those looking to become an amateur paranormal investigator, I got just the thing. And you won't even have to buy Ghost Hunting for Dummies by Zach Bagans. Yeah, that's a real thing. Yeah, I own it. Nope, I won't be taking further questions. Shutter Story by Frostwood Interactive invites you to put on your ghost detective hat and investigate strange happenings at your buddy's house. Like a true friend with a lot of time in your hands, you pore over dozens of family photos looking for evidence of the otherworldly. To aid you in your mission, you're given ghost hunting software, powered by Windows 2000, that outlines the kind of phenomena you might find in a picture, including apparitions, spectral forms, and impossible world events. It's like Phasmophobia meets Photoshop. You've got to tinker with settings like contrast and exposure just in case something is hiding in the dark. Once you do spot a spooky, you categorize the photo so the software can diagnose your haunting. All the while, your unwanted ghost guest plagues your buddy's Bethesda-eyed family. Now you're faking it, Grandma. The game's an intriguing little spin on Where's Waldo that I genuinely found myself captivated by. It's kind of like if Lake Mungo were a game. Also, high recommendation Lake Mungo if you haven't seen it. I spent way too much time combing the same pictures hoping not to miss some ghostly index finger hidden in the background. I'm proud to say I caught 7 out of 8 hauntings. You see, this book's paying for itself. This one's seemingly right around the corner too, slated for Q2 of this year. I legally can't do one of these videos unless I spotlight a retro survival horror throwback of some sort, and this one sure looks like it knows how to throw it back. Developed by Malformation Games, Ground Zero is more than just a Resident Evil clone. It's a Resident Evil clone set in Korea. After a meteor strike devastates the country, an elite operative is sent in to investigate, alongside her emotional support Canadian. The pair soon discovers that the meteor has turned everyone into goopy, glowy zombies. It's a real Night of the Comet situation, without the shopping montage. Or maybe it's a Night of the Creep situation, minus Tom Atkins, but you have to have Tom Atkins.
I got good news and bad news, girls. The good news is your dates are here.
What's the bad news?
They're dead.
Your jaunt through Busan becomes a fight for your life as you battle the undead and these weird dogs that stand on their hind legs like in that one picture. No, don't show it! Ground Zero is a survival horror disciple through and through. You've got your fixed camera angles, limited ammo, health management, puzzles, the works. You can pick between classic tank controls or the modern control scheme. I prefer to tank it though. I'm not a purist, I'm just old. When you get into a scuffle, you can move and shoot, yay, and even execute downed enemies with a slick little animation. The game has some additional mechanical curveballs too, like how you have to safe crack your way into inventory boxes by solving a math problem. You can make health cocktails that not only heal you, but buff your damage resistance. And you have the ability to scan any enemies you kill for genome points, which can be traded in at way stations for ammo and guns, which is a lot more than what GameStop's gonna give you.
Bring them in and we'll assess the condition, then give you cash or store credit.
Another cool thing are these branching paths that you can choose between. In the demo, you can either pick the beach route that sees you navigate through this wrecked ship, or you can travel through a creepy-ass amusement park. If there's more of this in the full release, I could see the game having big replay value. Of course, there's no date yet, which is fine. The game could use some polishing. For example, auto-aim picks bad targets in big crowds, and enemy collision boxes can literally box you in. All that aside, I think the game's got the goods. It evokes the look and feel of horror games from the PS2 era. It's nice to see indie devs graduate from 32 bits to 128, but they're becoming too powerful. I know we already have a bunch of Resident Evil clones out there in the wild, including one that already has 0 in the title, but when they're done this well, I think there's room in hell for one more. And there's dinosaurs, like a dino. If you think zombies are played out, I respect your opinion. It's bold wanting to be so wrong. However, if you're like me and you love Outbreaks of the Living Dead, well, hang on to your seat. Created by Games from the Abyss, the developer behind last year's The Lacerator, Living Dead Outbreak is a retro-tinged ode to classic zombie films and first-person shooters from the 90s. When it launches, its campaign will have a mixture of what the dev calls soft exploration, not that hard shit, and wave-based survival that's reminiscent of Call of Duty's Zombies mode. Whereas that mode is turned into an expansive theme park of unlockables and lore and whatnot, Living Dead Outbreak goes back to the basics. You see a zombie? You kill it. Do that lots. In that regard, you got a small arsenal of melee weapons and guns to help you re-dead the undead, but everything is finite, so a little bit of resource management is crucial. And, well, that's it. The game's pretty simple, but I like simple. Seems like it'll be a quick and dirty scrap for those looking to pass a few hours decapping zombos. You can check out the demo on itch right now. Blood Vial by Dylan Style is a fast-paced shooter that has you racing against the clock. That clock being a vial of blood that's constantly leaking from your body. The moment it runs out, you perish. In order to replenish it, you have to swim through the puddles of blood your enemies leave behind. The developer says they took inspiration from Splatoon, but I think we were playing very different games. Between levels, you can choose upgrades like increased damage or slower vial, so you have an easier time downing foes while you jet stream to the end of a map. Not only does plasma grant you sustainability, it also allows you to swim up walls like a little blood dolphin. I'm so sorry for that mental image. You'll slay rats, hunters, and monsters while trying to keep your style meter up and your good vampiric body alive. To do so, you're granted a sure shot revolver, and if you beat the demo's 3 levels, an SMG. The full game promises to add a shotgun. Imagine all the swimming you'll be doing with that bad boy. So far, the game feels great, and the central conceit is ingenious. Nintendo, it's not too late to take Splatoon in a much darker direction. You know, I'm a big fan of Vampire Survivors. I'm also a big fan of its illegitimate FPS children. I'm talking about games like Vampire Hunters and Bloodshed that have you blasting through hordes in first person as you collect gems to rank up and get better guns. They're like if Vampire Survivors and Doom had a weird baby. Derivative? Yeah. Fun? Yeah. Then there is Sportal. Developed by Sleepwalking Potatoes, Sportal is an arena-based roguelike where you use sporting equipment to kill hordes of B-movie monsters. And it's fun as shit. You navigate from zone to zone using footballs, slingshots, and lacrosse crosses. Is that right? A lacrosse cross? Yeah, okay, whatever. To devastate ghoulies blocking your way. Each weapon has its own fun little trait, like how hockey sticks let you slap shot a puck between multiple enemies, or how footballs do AoE damage when they touch down. You gain access to wilder weapons over time, bolstered by elemental effects and curses? Yeah, that don't meet regulation. You're constantly ranking up and acquiring new equipment while fetching silver coins that can be used to permanently upgrade your athletic prowess between rounds. The arenas themselves are varied enough, and the hazards throughout present opportunities for environmental kills. So far, combat is snappy, the rockabilly music slaps, the monsters are fun. Yeah, it's a no-brainer for me. No idea when it's coming out, but it'll be worth the wait, sports fans. Come on, I promised you demos, not dates. Stop busting my...
Arena completed.
You know, a fishing game may not seem like an obvious pick for Demo Demonic, but you'd be surprised how many indie games mix horror with the calming aquatic pastime. You've got Out Fishing, Gone Fishing, Umagari, and of course, my personal favorite, Dredge. These games understand one indelible fact. The ocean's scary as shit, dude. The aptly named Water Museum is dipping its toe into this budding genre with About Fishing, a game about, well, you guessed it, reeling in fish and solving a murder. With a retro pastiche and an offbeat loungy soundtrack, the game feels like Twin Peaks meets Sega Bass Fishing. You really gotta love indie devs, man. You play as a young girl learning how to fish, while your dad imparts words of wisdom. Yeah. After catching a few guppies, you reel in a big one. A dead lady. She's one of 2 siblings that went missing in the area recently, and it's obvious that somebody gave her the Laura Palmer treatment, which kicks off a larger mystery, one that your character is set on cracking. Well, you know, hooking some trout along the way. The demo mostly focuses on fishing over sleuthing, and in that respect, I can at least say the fishing feels pretty good. Whatever you catch can be tucked away in your tackle box, triggering an RE4 style inventory minigame. Wow. Or you can release fish back into the water, allowing you to investigate the deep through their eyes. The full game promises that the more you fish, the more you'll uncover forgotten secrets below the surface. You also get to interact with townsfolk who go about their routines as time marches on, whether you're there to see it or not. If you ever played the developer's previous title, Arctic Eggs, you already know you're in for a game a little left of normal. I expect the townspeople you meet will range from weird to weird as fuck. I've actually had my eye on this one for a while. The art style is remarkable. It's serene and unnerving all at once. We've seen indies evoke old school graphics before, but there's something so unique about this game's look. It's like a lost PS1 gem that never made it outside of Japan. No date yet, but you can join the playtest right now. If you ever wanted to know what Resident Evil in a procedurally generated mansion would be like, that's a really hyper-specific one, man. But god damn it if you're not in luck. Rogue Mansion by Almanara Games aims to give you a highly replayable take on survival horror. Every time you step foot into this maniac mansion, you'll get a new challenge. Rooms shift around, enemies like to spawn randomly, puzzle solutions change, and keys will never be in the same place twice. It's up to you to see how far you can get before the mansion spits you out. You get to pick one of a handful of survivors who each have their own special equipment and perks. I picked Tyler because he comes with a dog that bites the shit out of monsters. That's a good boy. He's kind of like that one class from Remnant 2, now that I think about it. And yes, you can pet the dog. Somebody go tell that one Twitter account. I will not. The developers call the game a classic survival horror revival, but honestly, its gameplay is closer to RE2 Remake than anything else. Even the UI is similar. Maybe they meant modern classic. And in that department, it's a solid imitation. It's got snappy gunplay and even a dependable dodge. You'll fight a range of weirdos that can absolutely drain what little ammo you have on your person. Herein lies an interesting mechanic, by the way. You could choose flight over fight, but at a cost. Whenever a creature appears, the exits are stained with a mean-looking glow that raises your fear level if you flee through it. Fill the fear meter, and bad stuff happens. I don't know what, but I chose to trust the game. It's probably the first time I've seen this genre tax the player for choosing avoidance, but it fits the game's roguelike nature. Thankfully, you can find calming pills or simply solve puzzles to lower your fear level. As we all know, puzzle solving soothes the mind. On your hunt for keys and puzzle pieces, you'll shatter vases looking for ammo or healing items. Or you could just talk to the merchant. No, not him. Him! He'll sell you guns and useful baubles in exchange for coin, which can be found or earned from kills. And you'll want to visit him often, since healing items don't really heal for shit, and ammo tends to be in short supply. Of course, it could be a hell of a trek returning to this friendly capitalist by foot, but you'll find objects that can either teleport you back to him or to other rooms you've already visited. Closest thing to a shortcut the game has. It's not all smooth sailing in this house of the unalived, however. Once you start making headway and unlocking doors, enemies become tougher and more unpredictable, and the mansion itself delights in fucking with you, shutting off all the lights or tossing barrels at you or filling rooms with blood in order to hide living spring traps. It's a weird house, man. You'll also run into bosses who can end your stay abruptly. And yet, I found myself itching to get back at it and see if I could make it further on my next run. If you don't like roguelikes, you could always stick to the classic mode, which lets you save progress instead of having to restart the whole affair. It's a nice little option. I came away pretty impressed with Rogue Mansion. A genre mashup of roguelike and survival horror holds a lot of promise, and the game's sizable demo shows signs that the devs are smartly leveraging the gimmick. I'm already looking forward to stepping through these doors once more. Sorry, not that door. And that ought to do it. Thanks for watching, and if you happen to stumble upon a cool demo, feel free to mention down below in the comments. Maybe we'll check it out for the next episode. Until next time, horror heads, like two syllables. It sounded like whore heads for a second. That's just rude. I'm sorry. Anyway, bye.